Delhi, this week I get to drop some Dell computers, so that's going to be interesting. All the Toastmasters guests, especially you, Delhi. Delhi is a very experienced Toastmaster. He's about to go back to Nigeria, and thank you, Delhi, for sharing this project with us. His goal today is the number 2 project as a professional speaker. This is speaking to entertain. The objective is to entertain the audience through the use of humor drawn from a personal experience and other material that you may have personalized. Deliver a speech in such a way that makes the humor effective, establish personal rapport with the audience, and the time was 8 to 10 minutes, and you met that requirement. This is one of the toughest evaluations I've ever had to do because you did so many things so well. He is obviously a very experienced Toastmaster. The humor was perfect. You had let's talk about the things you did well. You really personalized the effort. Your opening and the way you engaged Bruce and had prepared that sequence, and that interplay was perfect. You also played with the word of the day. You kind of brought that in and out during the speech multiple times in a kind of a rhetorical kind of fashion. I really enjoyed that. And then you got into your stories. I go, oh, you know, being a dog lover, I was sitting there, oh no, when you took this dog to the woods, and it turned out to be a very humorous story. And there were 2 aspects of that had these wonderful twists. One, you know, when you were doing the lost thing, they gave you a chance to do that personal expression. You did the motions where you're backing up. We could see you taking all these twists and turns. And then the twist, you got lost. And then secondly, when you sent the dog out with the treat to go get the paper, and I gave him the big treat, came back with 5. That was great. So, and I thought these analogies were perfect for making your point. And you developed this through, and you brought it through with the garbage men and how they did you a favor because you did them a favor. And again, tying it back to the whole purpose of your speech, you need to treat people properly, particularly if you're the Toastmaster and introducing other people. And I thought that was very good. And you, at the end, the whole conclusion, you tied all that back to the bird, letting it be free. So what could I offer as some possible suggestions to this? And it's tough, but I'll come up with something. Number 1, I love the closing where you brought it to the title of the speech. You know, a bird in the hand is you already have, or something like that, right? Could you tie that into the opening somehow? Maybe talk about having a bird in the hand. But more importantly, I thought the garbage presentation, a little story with that, was a great analogy, but it didn't have a great deal of humor to it. Maybe you could sandwich that in between your 2 dog stories. You tell the first story about trying to get the dog lost in the woods and all that. Then you talk about the garbage man, and this dog's barking the whole time. Well, let me tell you about the dog that's barking. You tie it back to the dog and say, you know, we do have this thing, we do let him out, and you need to maybe tie that into the treat. So maybe you spread out the humor a little bit more throughout your project, just to kind of keep that rhythm flowing through the whole deal. But boy, those are tough stretch goals. I really love the project. This is one of the best speeches I've ever heard. I wish you were around for a humor speech, but Mr. General Evaluator.